Good morning, everybody. Well, good morning for us, good afternoon for some, and good evening for others. We're lucky to be here. I will admit that. My name's Tyler. This is Sean. We're Rendered Reality, and we were definitely up late playing some VR last night.
Yeah, a little bit too
Uh,
late, but we're paying
yeah, a
for it
little
this
bit too
morning.
late. Yeah, it
But
was
that's all
pretty
right.
bad. I'm gonna go out on a limb and blame Steve XM. I think he was playing with us, and I don't think we would have stayed on as long if he wasn't up with us.
Yeah, we
But
were actually just about to get off, and he popped in, so we stayed on for a little while longer. But and
it was a good time.
somebody just said bacon flavored coffee. It's a thing.
I saw that.
GLG27. That sounds actually really good this morning. But
All right.
that's awesome. So we got a little bit of a special show today. We're gonna do our regular show, and about halfway through, we have one of the developers from Pistol Whip that is gonna be calling in to join us, answer some questions, talk about Pistol Whip a little bit. I don't know who's excited for Pistol Whip, but I know for sure I am. I mean, I cannot
Right.
wait for Pistol Whip. It's November 7th. If you don't know the date, which is next week, it's very close, and man, I'm excited.
Yeah, the hype is definitely real on that because
Yeah.
it does. It's an easy pickup, easy play. I know I'll be picking it up on the Quest all
Yeah, I
day.
believe it's
I mean, that's
cross-buy
great.
too. We were talking about that a little
It
bit in
is.
chat.
Yep.
It is cross-buy
Yep.
on Oculus. So if you buy it on the Rift store or whatever, you'll have it on Quest as well, which I'm really looking forward to because I think mainly this will probably be a Quest game that I play just
Oh,
because,
sure.
for the
Yeah.
workout aspect and stuff, it's something I can grab real quick, throw on. It doesn't matter, if I'm in the VR room or whatever, but I will look forward to playing it on the PC too because, you do get some benefits, a little bit better textures and stuff on the
Yeah,
on the
that was
PC
kind of my
version, so.
complaint like playing last night too is, we haven't played a ton of wired stuff. So for me, like last night we played some contractors and yeah, being wired, that was my only complaint is I kept getting tied up. But
Mhm.
I do have a little bit of a complaint about the Pimax. The cable is a little too short for my liking,
Yeah.
and it's really hard to extend it because it has this. I don't want to call it a breakout box, but it's sort of a breakout box, but there's no breakout to it. So it's kind of interesting. New sub, Robin. Pleasure
Oh,
being
thank
here.
you, thank you.
And yeah, I mean it's really short for me. I'm in a pretty big space now, so I have tons of room, but I can't really use it. So I don't know. That's the only thing my issue with it so far. That and dealing with some of the settings, but it's not really an issue. It's kind of fun for me. But
Yeah, for sure. And we did just put out a video of contractors on the Quest, and it's an early build, so it's not a finalized build or anything. And there's really not many people on. It's hard to find because there's so few people that have
sure.
access to the Quest build. So it was just me and Tyler in there in the footage shooting each other and stuff. So, but it was a lot of fun. It really plays
Oh
really
yeah.
well on the Quest. I mean, there's a couple little bugs they still have to work out, but overall, I was impressed. And the wireless
Yeah.
aspect, I mean, that's just it's so freeing to be able to
Yeah, it
play
is.
that game wireless, and it's so hard for me to remember to move around because we've played first person shooter games for so long in VR, and I've just gotten so used to just using stick
Snap
movement
turn.
that way. Yeah,
Sure.
I don't get wrapped up in the cord, so it's like
I
a
know.
whole new world. I mean, it really is like a whole new world. So I really can't
Yep.
wait, and I don't know for sure if that's going to be cross platform play. And I really hope that it is because that is really the only downfall about contractors on the PC is that the player base isn't as big. So I'm really
Right.
hoping for some crossplay. So
Sure, and it'll get big. I mean, once it drops on Quest, I mean, there's going to be people picking it up. There's no doubt in my
yeah,
mind, especially for just the gun stock, aspect of it alone.
calibration. I'm
It's just,
so glad that's
oh
in there. I'm
gosh,
so glad they included that on the Quest version. So if you haven't watched that, go ahead and check that out after the show or whatever. It's pretty cool.
it does play really well. The only issue I felt like I had is there was a little bit of the latency is a little too high for me on like the bullet lag. And obviously that's probably to do with, wireless, then networking,
Yeah,
then
depending on
reprojected
your
onto
internet and
servers,
stuff.
then back to you and stuff. So it's adding some more to it. So I understand that. I
Yeah.
totally get that.
The only
It's just, play style, being used
Yeah.
to it.
The only issue as I had was I did notice, with using the Rift S and the Index and stuff, you have that much higher resolution. Well, not really the resolution, but the textures and stuff, the much higher textures and stuff
Sure.
in the
Oh,
game
yeah.
compared to the Quest build. So for me, shooting from far away, like seeing somebody far away, it was a lot harder to make out a target and a lot harder
Sure.
to be accurate at a distance with just, a holographic sight, no scope or anything. But I think that's something you'll get used to. And if you've never played the PC VR version, you won't even notice that
Right.
that's an issue. The only other issue I had was my fault. And that was playing with the sub pack, and it was.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was going to be the greatest idea to play Contractors at the sub pack. I messed around a little bit in the lobby and stuff with it, but I never actually played a game. But it was so hard because every time I got shot or I heard shots, I turned around because I thought every time they were behind me, because it would give you the impacts in your back. So it was super I'm like, oh, it was terribly disorienting.
Well, I've been telling you got to put that thing on your chest. I'm telling you,
I
it would work so well for that.
I do want to try that. I think I'm going to try putting it on the chest, but I need to adjust it because I did slap it on just for a second, and like the part that would be on your back was like in my neck. So I have to try to adjust it to get it down some, but I think that might work a little bit better unless I am getting shot in the back, and then I'm going to think it's from the front.
Yeah, but most of the time, probably what, 90, 80, 80% of the time, at least with us, there's not a whole lot of people coming up behind us usually.
Yeah.
So.
And usually if you are getting shot in the back, it's hard to come back from that unless you can duck around a corner. I mean, if they have to drop on you and they're shooting you from behind, it's usually pretty hard to.
There's no way.
So, yeah. But yeah, it is a lot of fun. So looking forward to that one coming out. And I think Pavlov is probably going to be the first one to drop. It is, I believe, what is that? December 12th, I think, is when Pavlov is supposed to actually get released on the Quest. And I think that's going to have an impact on how many people pick it up too. And Pavlov's going to be free. I'm not sure if Contractors for sure what the price is going to be for Quest, but
they're dropping their light version. So what is that going to be? Is it going to be one map maybe? I don't know. So one or two, or maybe his original 3 set. I don't know, but yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, it's hard to say. So.
I don't know. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. However, we're getting shooters on Quest, and it's awesome.
It's a genre that we need on the Quest, especially that wireless aspect.
So another thing I want to get into about like picking up games on the Quest is I was kind of muddling around on there the other day, and it kind of hit me that I never got any games that I had originally bought on like the Go or on PC that had cross-buy. So I went in, and inside the settings, I actually found this, and I had footage of it, but we had mixed. We kind of tested it out last night, but Sean didn't have it on his. So I don't know if it's an update. It's a little different. But there's actually a filter menu to the right if you go under Browse All under the store. And you can select pricing and select free. And it brought up every free game, which is great. But all the cross-buy ones popped up as well in there. And the dollars were crossed out, and it just said free. So it was a great way for me to find all the games. I mean, I went and downloaded like 10 or 12 games that I had that were cross-buy.
Yeah, I don't understand why it wasn't working for me, because we were both in there together and I was trying to get it to work. But we were on the same update build. That's why I don't understand. So I'm not exactly sure how that is. But if you're have access to the Quest or whatever, check that out and see if that works for you, because that is pretty cool. Because there are a decent amount of stuff, especially like stuff from the Go and stuff from the PC that we've bought that is available on Quest. So I
didn't even realize I forgot ones like Ultra Wings. I completely forgot that. I'm like, oh, that'd be super cool, to be able to have on there just to sit around the living room and play it. But yeah, so it's kind of nice.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So speaking of other things on the Quest, how about something you found the other day? Which it's kind of common news now. It's becoming common now. But yeah, it was he showed me this, and nobody talked about it, I don't think, for a day. I don't think.
Well,
I wish we.
So what this was is it was an app that popped up under new releases. I was checking new releases, and it said Rift Home under the Quest store, and I was like, what? And so I didn't really think too much of it. But then I was telling Tyler, and I sent him the picture, and he's like, well, where did you find that? It's not there. So when he went to look, they had pulled it back down. So then he was able to find it through searching and stuff. But basically, I mean, as far as we can tell from this has to be related to Link, I would think. So this is probably, once the Link is released, you're going to have a Rift Home that you're going to be able to go to inside Quest. And yeah, I don't know. You didn't actually go into this, or did you download it? I think you might have downloaded it.
I did download it. The only way I could find it, and you guys can check for it yourselves too if it's still there, is I searched for just Rift Home in the search in the store on the Quest headset itself, not on the app.
Right.
And it did pop up there for free, and I downloaded it, but it will not open. It tries to open real briefly, but it doesn't do anything. It may be looking for a cable. It may be, waiting on an update on the Oculus software and a computer, who knows. But it's definitely going to be for Link. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. I mean, you wouldn't have a Rift Home app on the Quest if it wasn't to do with, the PC
so I
side
mean,
stuff.
they told us November. They didn't tell us the release date
Sure.
of the Link stuff, but they told us November, and it is November. So I mean, that could be any day now. It could be beginning of November, it could be end of November. We don't know, but starting to see stuff like this pop up, I have to think hopefully it's pretty soon. Another thing that did pop up in some of the stuff for one of the updates was an Oculus Assistant service, and you can see it in the bottom folder here. So that's basically something that's coming too, and I believe that's probably something related to the hand tracking that's going to be coming for the Quest, because you're going to be limited, because normally you have controller support that you can click and you can do all kinds of things to interact. So I think this is going to be some kind of like an Alexa or Google Home kind of a thing where you can voice search and all of that kind of stuff. So that's something else that is coming, but we know the hand tracking is a little bit farther away.
Yeah, that will be tricky with like inputs and selecting things. I mean, maybe not. Maybe they've got the hand tracking down so good that it's going to be simple, but yeah, it's probably some type of voice assistant. Yeah, would be my guess.
So I'm guessing the mixture of the two, being able to use voice search or voice type, which that would be nice anyways.
Which we have in there already, don't we? We have the voice search, or was that old?
On
was
Quest?
that on
That
Go?
was back on Rift. We had that back on CV1.
Rift?
We had it back on CV1. Okay. I don't know if it's still on Rift S, but that was a long time ago. I don't know if that's in the Quest. I never really used it, so I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't really mess with it that much, but. I mean, I think if it comes down to hand tracking and stuff like that, I think it's going to be something that's going to be a lot more useful than normally it would be, I would think. But
yeah, it'll be interesting with hand tracking. I don't know. I'm not sold on hand tracking completely. I'm really not.
I think the experience, it depends on the experience.
I do too. I think it would be a fun experience, but I don't think it's something I would want to play a game with per se, because I want those precise controls of a controller. You can't recreate that with hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen.
Right. It'll be interesting. I think there'll be some cool stuff that comes out for it. I am looking forward to it. And hopefully it comes to PC, the Rift as well. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. So to jump to hand tracking, I'm sorry, I'm jumping on you quick today. We've been drinking coffee early. We kind of cheated today.
We did.
Yeah. So a little ramped up already here today. But so for the Pimax, they dropped a ton of accessories for it. And, I keep looking at all these, and I really think the hand tracking module would work for my 5K plus. I don't know myself if I've heard that. It may have been discussed on the forums and stuff over at Pimax, but yeah, there you go. So this has all the right detents. It has the Type-C port on the bottom for this. So I'm pretty sure it'll work. I'm not up to date on all the Pimax stuff as some of the backers and stuff have been, but I really think it will work. So I'm kind of excited about this, and I think to pre-order it's $179, I think.
Yeah,
so I didn't think that was too bad.
The Pimax stuff is so hard to keep up with. They have so many products and so many levels of. I mean, it's just really hard to keep up with all the Pimax stuff. It really is, but
I know.
But yeah, it looks pretty awesome. I don't see why it wouldn't work with the older 5K plus.
My favorite thing, the release lately from the Pimax, is their alphabet of option packages you can get. And if you haven't seen that, I think they're up to letter G or something.
Yeah, I think MRTV just did a video on it yesterday, I believe.
Yeah.
And
which
I guess.
Crazy. They have to, though, because some of the backers were getting pissed, especially from the first video. And what was that, maybe a month ago now, or 3 weeks ago, that they released all the stuff, and the backers were now going to have to pay money for things that were supposed to be included.
Super confusing.
Yeah, so now they kind of reverted again, because I think the backlash was legit.
Right.
So yeah, and so they're adding things to it, and some stuff I really didn't even know was coming. Like, do you have the silicone there, the facial interface, which they had talked about this, but
they have the images of it. Thing. The nose gap adapter.
It's serious. I mean, it actually goes up on your forehead, which I think is a pretty cool idea.
So it actually starts and goes higher than what the normal.
It rolls over your forehead. So they said what it does is it keeps it from shifting. So that sweet spot stays right on the whole time. So once you get it set,
almost like a mix of the ski mask style with the Halo design style, a little bit with the way the weight sits, maybe.
Yeah,
because the Halo design kind of sits more on the top of your head, like top of your forehead.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I mean, it's a complete blackout, I guess, too. So that's kind of cool. And then these are the silicone sleeves, which I think are kind of cool for these. My one worry is about cracking my headset.
Especially on the older headset, like you have the 5K plus and stuff. The build quality of the plastics and stuff weren't quite, the rugged editions are supposed to be a little bit better, but
which they kind of, I think, got the message on that, because now all the new 8K Vision series all have the rugged case, which is great. I think they should just be doing that from here on out.
It should be standard. They should all have that. I mean, it really.
I agree.
It would be nice.
Yeah, nobody's putting these things on a pedestal every time. Like, you're jumping around, you're maybe hitting yourself with a controller. There's all kinds of things. So.
I mean, that's why they put these death spikes on these silicone covers. If anybody gets in your way, you just headbutt them with your hammerhead shark, and they're done for.
So I didn't even realize those were spikes from the original pictures on here.
Right.
But then actually, if you have the audio strap one, which that is the audio strap on there, if you do have the audio strap picture, it shows the spikes way better.
I don't understand the spikes. It's a little weird. But...
I know. Well, they said it's to actually keep it from, like, if you drop it, you do drop it, or they said they were doing like 3-meter drops with this thing, and it wasn't breaking. So
is that the rugged edition or just with the silicone cover? That's probably the rugged edition.
That's probably the rugged with the silicone would be my guess. But maybe. But the audio strap looks
it looks good,
really cool to me. I don't know, I'm kind of into this. So
it looks like they're upping their quality a little bit. So you have the deluxe audio strap on your Pimax now, but are you considering upgrading to this?
I do. I have the deluxe audio strap on, which really, I mean, if you look at those, it's pretty close to the same shape and everything.
Yeah.
To upgrade to it, I don't know. I don't know if I have a need to. If I didn't have a 3D printer, and I didn't pick up a deluxe audio strap for $79, I mean, it's hard. I think these are coming in at what, $149, I think, or $120. I know they talked a couple prices a while back, but I don't know. If I didn't have a printer and I didn't have deluxe audio, yeah, absolutely, I'd buy this all day.
For sure.
I like it that it just fits it perfectly. It's made for it.
Yeah.
It's nice. Yeah, it looks cool. I like the look of it too.
I really think this second one from the bottom, that looks just like Halo to me. It looks like, for some reason, it reminds me of Master Chief in Halo. I don't know why, but I really like that dark green.
It does too. It gives it like the little bit of military look too. Cool. I agree. It's kind of cool. I may end up just getting the black one, but see, I have the 5K plus too, so I don't know. Do these? I think all the housings are the same between the 8K and the 5K.
Yeah, I believe so, but I'm not sure.
I know.
So another thing.
Still learning too.
Since we're talking about accessories and all that stuff, we can talk a little bit about this. This is they're called the Bebop sensors, I believe, and this is for the Quest that they showed this with. And this is basically allows for hand tracking and for feedback into your fingertips and your palm. So there's actually transducers in each fingertip and the palm of the hand, which is pretty cool. So we almost don't even need the hand tracking down the road, once the Quest stuff comes out, and there's a lot of hand tracking modules. But even for the feedback of, grabbing something in each finger, feeling it, the palm feeling it, that would be
now that cool. I could get into that. I could actually the hand tracking. It'd be a fun, thing to try.
Yeah.
But this with the feedback in it.
So I wonder how this would be if you're using these with a controller, because you could still hold a controller with these, you know what I mean? And you could still get the finger tracking, use your Mammut grips maybe with that. And then you would have finger tracking and force feedback from the controller and fingertips. That might be interesting. I don't know. It's cool to see that they keep just messing with this stuff and keep adapting. And it'll be hard to see what's actually going to stick, what product is going to stick. But
I think a lot of these things that get thrown to the wall aren't going to stick. But I mean, it's fun. I think it's fun. I don't think it's going to be mass market, but you never know. It would be great for like training purposes though.
Right. That's what a lot of the hand tracking stuff I think is going to come in.
I mean, this would be awesome. Could you imagine like field stuff, like practicing field stuff and working on things, or doctors or stuff where you would have feedback and feel? That would be awesome. That would be really cool. But
they said with the SDK, it allows you to experience force, location size, weight, bending, twisting, and various other presences across any size, resolution, and geometry in VR.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'd be kind of interesting. Excuse me there. But
I like it. I'd love to get my hands on it and try it. Do I think it's something I would buy though? I don't.
Probably not.
It's hard because now you want to use it. You have to put all this stuff on every time, and it just becomes more of a process. Where I think the easier stuff is just to throw it on. Like the Quest or the Rift S. It's so easy, no cameras. You throw it on, it works every time, and you're good to go.
That is one thing I love about the Quest is if I just want to play, if I got 20, 30 minutes to play something, I'm grabbing the Quest, because it's just, I throw it on, I can be in any room I want to be in, I throw it on, I'm done, I throw it to the side, and we're good to go. Like, it's just, it's not that the PC stuff takes that much longer, but it's just still that little bit of a barrier is a big deal, at least to me.
my Quest lives in my either upstairs office or living room, right between the two, and that's where it stays.
Yeah.
And if I'm in my VR space, then I'm using wired and stuff. So they work totally different for me. So yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah.
Easy to pick up, but yeah, this stuff just kind of takes you out of that a little bit.
So if you want to talk about Quest stuff a little bit, let's talk about we played a bunch of stuff yesterday and last night. Let's talk about one of the games we played, and that was Dash World on the Quest.
Oh yeah.
So there's Tyler over there. I'm waving to. So we tried this out when we first got access to it, and we didn't play together. We just kind of played the AI and stuff, and it was pretty cool. And we went back into it last night, and they've done a lot of work to it. They added another map and stuff, and it was a lot of fun. And I think this is going to be a 4-player game, and it's basically Mario Kart. I mean, it's a lot like Mario Kart in VR. And it is a ton of fun. Well, I mean, what did you think? It was a ton
of fun. Well, see, the first time I played it was a while back, and there were only 4 people racing, and I was by myself, and it wasn't as polished. They didn't have as much going on, and I'm like, okay, it was fun. I mean, I played it for a while, but it wasn't really something that would draw me back. Now, where it's at, I feel like it really is.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. It was great.
Yeah. I really look forward to having more people than just the 2 of us in there. I think that is going to be.
Sure.
I think that's going to be really awesome.
And I think you can run like 4-player parties in it, and maybe 8 people in race, like 4 AI and 4 people.
And there's like upgrades. I don't really understand how the upgrades work yet, but there's like boxes that you get that it's basically like a slot machine where you pull the handle and you get loot crates and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. And this map there was alpaca in this map that were like trying to attack you and stuff. But there's all kinds of
shortcuts.
Yeah, there's weapons, all different kinds of weapons and stuff. There's also a drifting mechanic, so where you can pull. I think it's you pull the left trigger and the rear end will slide. So when you need to take the turns and you need to take them sharper, you can hit that and kind of drift around. And it does take some getting used to. There's 2 different controls for the steering. There's one where you can actually tilt the controller like this, and then there's one where you can use a thumbstick to actually steer. And I tried both. I don't know which one I liked better. They both had their kind of perks. I think I probably stick with the thumbstick, but it was kind of cool. You basically drive with your left hand, and then your right hand is free to use the weapons, or you can, if you hit the question marks there and you don't hit them with your car, you can reach your hand out and hit them. And it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. I think this one is going to be a pretty big hit.
I like the shortcuts in it. Though there you have the frying pan.
I have egg in my face too. I didn't get close enough to anybody on this clip to whack them though, but you can actually hit people when you go by them. It's a lot of fun.
It is.
And there's
it is. It was a lot of fun.
There's a bunch of motion sickness stuff you can turn on and stuff too that's supposed to help with motion sickness.
I
turned all that off. Yeah, I didn't have any issues. I turned all that off because I usually don't like any of that stuff. But for people that do have those issues, hopefully you won't have too much of a problem with any motion sickness. And if you play enough, you'll probably get used to it anyways. But
yeah, and it was an easy pick up and play game. I mean, there was no learning or anything really.
Yeah, this is a good one. I think this is going to be a lot of fun. And I believe it's releasing for the PC, the Quest, and I believe PSVR at some point too.
Yeah. Yes, it is PSVR as well.
Yeah, so that'll be pretty cool.
And WMR too.
Yeah. So I don't know about crossplay. Do you know about crossplay?
I don't. No, I'm not. No, none of that's been confirmed yet, but
yeah.
I guess it's possible. I mean, if they're planned releases on all those, it could be. So
and it plays really well. I didn't have any performance issues or any glitches or anything when I played. I mean, we played for probably maybe 45 minutes or so, just racing, did a couple races together. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. All of it. You can send even like little facial expressions emojis while you're racing or in lobbies and stuff.
Yeah.
It shows all the hand tracking and stuff. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was cool. I definitely want to get into it. Once that is released, we definitely got to get into that with some people in the community. And we do plan on playing something tonight. I know the VR man was saying something about Dead and Buried 2 in the or in the chat here. So tonight, probably, what do you think? Maybe like 6 p.m. Eastern time, something like that. We're probably going to try to start meeting up with some people. We'll probably try to play stuff that's either free or that is on the Quest and the Rift, because not everybody has PC VR. So we're thinking probably some Poker Stars, maybe some Dead and Buried, maybe some Rec Room. I don't know. And
then if anybody's up late, we'll maybe get into some hardcore stuff, something a little different.
We might play some Contractors or something again tonight if people want to jump into that. We played with Steve last night, and that was a lot of fun.
And we will post all that stuff on our Discord. Yeah. So if you haven't joined, stay tuned on there. That's where we drop all that stuff.
Yep. So join on there.
But yeah, we'll post what games and what times we're probably doing each. Last time I think we did I think it was an hour each. It really wasn't enough, because by the time we got in and got going and stuff, it wasn't enough. So I think we should at least push each one to an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. So
VR time.
So definitely join us.
Time doesn't follow any rules when you're playing VR. It doesn't follow any kind of it's just it flies by. I mean, time in general goes fast enough, but when you're in VR, it's like super speed. It's crazy.
But we do gain an extra hour of VR time tonight.
That's true. Well, which is awesome. If you partake in daylight savings time, depending on what part of the country and what country you're in, I guess. But yeah, we do.
Yep.
We do get that. Awesome. So talking about Contractors, another game that we did hop into last night for a little while was Onward. And they did a pretty big update for that. There are custom maps now. They added some different, I think, some gameplay modes. There's better textures, better video, or graphics, and all kinds of stuff. So some new gun models. It actually played really well. I had a lot of fun playing it. What are you laughing at?
What? Coffee? No, nothing. They're making fun of me in chat. They want to know how many cups of coffee I've had.
I think, I have 2 here, and I already drank a pretty big one this morning. So hopefully I don't need any potty breaks while we're live. That could be bad.
I'm drinking out of my, it's actually, funny enough, this coffee cup is one of my favorites. It's Founders Brewing. It's a brewery, and they have a beer called Breakfast Stout. Oh, nice. And they actually sold this at their brewery, which is super cool. It's kind of one of those hard to find things, and it's a coffee cup. So you would order their beer there, and you would get it in a coffee cup.
Oh, that's cool. That's awesome.
I use it as my coffee cup. Yeah.
So yeah, but if you haven't checked out the new update for Onward, be sure to check that out. They did a lot of stuff, and it played really well last night. We played it for a while, and then we went back to our go-to of Contractors. It's hard for us to stick with any of the other shooters. We just love Contractors so much. But
it is. I just feel stuff doesn't play as smooth. Yeah. I really don't. I just, every time we go into something else, I'm like, it just doesn't compare. Like, there's no stutter. There's no anything on Contractors. Like, everything just works. Yeah. Everything is balanced. Everything's where you think it should be. Button locations feel natural.
Yeah, I know we talked about this last night. You had some issues too. You kept getting kicked out of Contractors. That was one reason we stopped.
Or no, out of Onward.
I mean, out of Onward. Yeah, when we were playing Onward, you kept getting booted out and had to keep going back in. So eventually, we were like, let's just hop out of here. I don't know what the issue was because I wasn't getting kicked. It was just you. I don't know.
It was a lobby issue. Every time I would die and go back, I'd be in the lobby for about 10 seconds. And then it would drop out. I would get booted.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there. But VR Mang said we should get a party chat going prior to jumping into games, so we should do that tonight. It'll have to be an Oculus probably party chat, though, to get everybody in there.
Discord?
Well, Discord isn't on Quest, though.
Very true.
So we actually need to speed this up a little bit. We are going to get on with the pistol whip dev in about 15 minutes. So one thing I did want to get into, there's been a bunch of Kickstarters. So I did want to talk about some Kickstarter updates. And one of them was Panther VR. Let me see if I get the web browser here. So there we go. So this one has been funded, 446 backers, and it raised just over $18,000 of a $16,000 goal. So this one is coming. So this one I'm really excited about it. I did fund this one, so I will be getting the game. And something just happened.
Oh, we're down to minutes to go.
Somebody just subscribed. So
nice. Riff's fun. Nice.
Awesome. So yeah, we got 89 minutes to go on this. So there is still time. So you can still get some of the backer rewards and stuff if you do want to back this. It looks really good. It's a stealth game, and we know stealth games work really well in VR. And the people that have tried this were big fans. Everybody seems to really like it. It looks really good. Looks like it plays well. And so definitely excited about that. The other big one was the Tilt 5. I mean, holy crap.
That's crazy. That is just, that blows my mind.
So, like, over $1.7 million in funding.
Yeah. Is that what it was? I thought it was 1.5. Is it 1.7 now?
It's 1.7. And it might be higher than that. I don't even know.
That's crazy. That's unbelievable. I mean, that's great. I mean, it's... I hope they do something good with it then.
I think really they will. I mean, with that kind of funding, I mean, that's... So you can pre-order now, but the Kickstarter is over. So it raised $1,767,000. So, and that was of a $450,000 goal. There's 3,300 backers. I mean, that's
over tripled.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's pretty cool. We've talked about the Tilt 5 stuff before if you haven't seen that, but it's basically AR tabletop gaming where you have a pad on the table that has like this special reflective material that the objects actually come up out of that pad in the table. And it looks really cool. I mean, it really does look pretty promising.
Yeah, it does.
But
yeah, and I did throw a link down, and it is the link to the pre-orders actually for the Kickstarter as well. So if you do want to check them out, I think what they come in at $299, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like
Pretty
that
sure it's
for
$2.99.
the
Yeah, there you go.
kit.
$2.99. Yeah, pledge $2.99.
That was the pledge. I'm not sure what the pre-order is now, if that's went up or not.
I think the pre-order, I think, is still that, or maybe it's the 360. I don't know. Yeah, you can check it out. It's in the description. But yeah, it is. And I think they were talking about it last night on our Discord. Is that what it was? On like what games they're gonna have?
I can't remember what night that was. So it is $2.99 for the LE kit. You can still pre-order for $2.99. Yep. The XE kit is $3.59, and the group pack, which I think you get 3 headsets, is $8.79. So even still, I mean, for the price of an Index, you can have 3 of these to have at your house. True. You know, less than the Index actually for the full kit. But you could have.
It would be great for families and stuff.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, that would be awesome.
And stuff, it'd be
yeah,
really
if you have kids and stuff, and you want to get them and let them try it, but maybe not get them into full-fledged VR and stuff yet, that'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Really cool. Another one was the De Leon's, the pirate game. I can't remember what was that.
De Leon's Legend.
Yeah, De Leon Legend. So that they actually decided to cancel their Kickstarter. I can't remember if we talked about this last time.
I think we mentioned it because they thought they weren't going to make it.
Yeah,
at the
so
time,
the Kickstarter wasn't going, but we've actually been in the game. We've been in the build, and I think Paradise Decay did a video on it, and it's promising. I mean, it was really cool so far.
It looks good. So sounds good.
Yeah, they said that they're going to continue to work on it. They're not giving up on it. It's just going to probably be slower progress than if the Kickstarter would have been funded. But yeah, they decided to cancel it, and they said that the statistics were not looking good, and we know that it's almost impossible to reach the goal. That said, we will continue to work on the project, but not at the same speed. So we asked them, just keep us updated and let us know how it's going, because it's a game that really looks really good.
It does too. All the mechanics of it and stuff look really cool too.
Yeah,
like lighting the cannon and stuff.
And the flintlock pistols and all that stuff. The boats, you can go out on the sailboats and sail, and I'm sure you can get bigger, the pirate ships and stuff too. But we were just in the beginning kind of tutorial area. But yeah, so definitely.
I almost wish they would have got some kind of demo out before, because I feel like if people would have saw that and tried it, they would have realized it, because it is really it's that gorgeous inside for that level of game and where they're at and what
it's
money
early
they wanted.
Too. Yeah, it was super early in the build too, so I thought it was really cool.
I know.
So we did see thank you for the subscription there, Zypher Orion. We did see another pirate game that popped up that we could talk about real quick. This is called Buccaneers, and this is I think the page is up on Steam now for this. But this looks pretty cool too, and it's kind of a little bit more of the cartoony kind of graphics, but I like that in VR. I think that's cool.
I agree. I think if you're not going to go full-fledged polished, then you have to drop back, because you're never going to achieve unless you're just literally on PC and you're maxing out GPUs.
And this will run so much better on like so many things. And the graphics and this kind of game, it still feels just as immersive to me when you're in a game like this than you are in a game that tries to do realistic graphics. It's weird how that works, but it's pretty cool. This one.
Yeah, I mean, look at all the biggest games right now in VR. They're not ones that have super polished
super
graphics.
Hot, Beat Saber. I mean,
absolutely
stuff like that. So this one says, become a fearless captain in Buccaneers, a classic pirate game with a modern twist. Embark on a first-person single-player adventure either on your PC or in VR, and join a faction with unique abilities to conquer an ever-changing Caribbean Sea. Featuring hours of replayability, Buccaneers lets you find legendary treasures, battle powerful ships, and leave your mark on the world. You will bring about a new golden age or stomp out piracy once and for all. So it sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, the climbing and stuff built into it. It does look fun.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. Swinging. Or is he just jumping? Maybe he's jumping.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's awesome.
Another one we got to talk about real quick. Santa's Visit.
Are you doing it? Hey, it's Christmas.
This looks awesome. It's not Christmas yet. It's after Halloween. It's after Halloween. We're close enough. So we actually talked about this before, but all we had was pictures. There was no video trailer or footage or anything like that. And the graphics on this look unbelievable. I mean, it almost looks like photorealism. And I don't know if that's the case, but it looks really good. And we haven't got into this game yet or anything. Is it available? I think it is available now on Steam, right?
No, you're ruining the Christmas music.
I'm sorry. I can turn it up.
I'm kidding.
Do you want me to turn it up? Where's this at?
I'm not excited for Christmas. I hate when stuff gets pushed too early.
I can't.
You're blasting everybody out.
But you wanted the Christmas music. I had to do it. This is what happens when I stay up too late and drink too much coffee.
I know, right? I know. This is the problem. But yeah, I mean, this looks awesome. Like, everything looks interactive in here, which is really cool. Now, I don't know. It doesn't show a lot of like moving around, so I'm curious what they're doing for like movement. If it's teleport or locomotion. But I don't care. It looks like a lot of fun. I will put everybody in this at the holidays when they're here. It's awesome.
It looks awesome.
It's great.
But it is out now, right? I think it's out and it's like $10, I believe.
It is. It is $9.99.
We're gonna have to jump in that. Too bad that's not like massively multiplayer, and we can all be Santa Clauses and elves and stuff when we run around and we try to fill all the Christmas wish list and everything. That'd be
creepy.
Awesome. It would be
Someone
creepy.
Be hiding
it already
in the
is kind of creepy, but it looks awesome. It looks so cool. I just want to see the graphics in the trailer look really, really good. So I'm curious to see what it looks like in game. Another thing before we get on with the Pistol Whip developer is this did pop up on Beat Saber's Twitter, and this isn't this is just a GIF, so it's not very high quality, but I believe this is leading towards the 360 tracking, the basically Beat Saber in 360. And the crazy part about this is that it just said November 7th. Well, no, November 7th is the same date that Pistol Whip comes out next week. So we may be getting both of these on the same day, which is kind of crazy. So
Right. I know. Yeah, it was kind of funny. Even the Pistol Whip guys, one of the guys on Twitter said something about it coming out the same day.
Yeah,
but yeah, I would surmise that. Yeah, absolutely. This is 360. You can see the light and stuff moving
in the background.
Like,
it's blurred in the background. It kind of looks like maybe it's spinning. It's hard to say. But some people said maybe this is the collaboration with Super Hot and Beat Saber. I don't think that's probably the case. If that's going to happen, I don't think that's coming out November 7th. I think it's probably going to be the 360 tracking. But it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, for sure.
So speaking of holidays getting moved up, how about Black Friday? So Black Friday is always a big deal. Always a big deal.
We love Black Friday.
This is a huge deal. Do. We already know we're getting a 50% or a $50 price cut
that's
on
even better.
the Rift S. I know.
Don't
Too much
quote
coffee
him on that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so this is the Oculus Rift S. This is from Lenovo. So this is Lenovo's Black Friday ad. And you can pick up the Rift S for $349. I wasn't sure if we were going to see a price reduction or not for sure. We thought so, but it's still, I mean, it just came out this year. It's hard to, imagine. But yeah, $350.
Oculus
that's a steal.
Does. Every time, every holiday, they have like a $50 price cut on it. Or
Same thing last year. Same thing last year in the CV1. My cousin actually picked one up on Black Friday. He picked up a CV1, yeah. So $349 is not bad for a Rift S. Excellent headset. I mean, it really is, especially if you buy the thing next to it too, probably, which gives you a better mic and headphones. I don't know if they'll work with that headset, but maybe they're trying to tell you something here.
Right? I know you need this with it. Yeah,
something.
True. Even though we made the headset.
Yeah. That's pretty terrible. That's pretty terrible.
I know. It's good.
Yeah, so that's awesome.
Everyone's getting hyped in chat for Pistol Whip. I know.
They're like, shut up and stop talking and give us Pistol Whip. That's
I know, right? I know.
Real quick, before we do that, I do want to show Jason. He put this out there. He sends us little tidbits, and this is the grenade launcher that he's putting in drop in, and man, does this look good.
The reloads and stuff on this too look amazing.
This is a nifty little doodad.
Right.
Awesome.
It's kind of like the RPG, but it's old school.
Jason must still be sleeping. I don't see him in here.
I think you guys will like this.
I love his laugh.
That is so awesome.
So good though. Like those are the things you just like want to do.
Yeah. I can't wait for drop in.
So
this
these
is
things
gonna
really
be,
bounce
I know
around.
he's getting pretty close.
Bounce him off the
He's
wall.
getting close, but it did get a little delayed. He was getting a little help, and two of the guys I think had to drop off because of other projects.
They were working on multiple projects, so.
Yep. But he is still working on it. It is still 100% moving forward.
Yeah, he's been
which
working
is
on
awesome.
this a lot. So.
Some cool
and what
stuff,
we've seen and heard in the even recent days,
that thing really went out there.
You should definitely be excited for it. It's really cool.
That
We're really excited.
on that
he always teases us with this. This video is actually on his channel that he posted, but he's always sending us little stuff to tease us and stuff. But it looks awesome.
Once you're out,
it does too. Even the reloads too. Even if you don't put the shells back
like
in,
would, right? So
and you actually dry fire. If there's not a shell there, it will dry fire.
Right.
You can clip it
because if you don't put all 6 back in, kind of like the
all your shells out.
what is it? Not roulette. When you spin it.
And
no, when you
you just load this bad boy
put
up.
shells in, spin it.
Russian
roulette. I guess that is. Yeah. But you can do the same thing with it basically, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Awesome.
Looks like we just got a Super chat.
Oh, nice. $10
Tony
super chat.
Digital.
Tony
Man, that's
Digital.
awesome.
He said, "Thank you to the both of you guys for the work you put in for us. We definitely appreciate that. We really just do this because we love doing it and it's so much fun. And even if we didn't do this show, me and Tyler sit here and talk like this on Saturday mornings anyways. So we just love it. We love that everybody joins in chat and stuff. We get excited about this every week. It's pretty much all we talk about.
Yeah, but honestly, Tony, just the appreciation of saying that just saying it to us means a lot. It really does. Yeah,
we really appreciate that super chat too. We can fill our coffee a little bit.
I know, right? I know. I've been looking for I need to get something cool. I'm looking for a good coffee brand, and I keep saying that, but nothing's hit me yet that I want it. So
we've been talking about one too. We did just get a coffee grinder because we've been buying some a bunch of different kind of coffees that weren't ground yet, and so we got a new coffee grinder. But man, I'm loving that.
I know, but I didn't even know after I got my grinder now there's all these different kinds of grinders, like which blew my mind. The guy was telling me that, oh yeah, there's this kind and this kind, and I'm like, I didn't know there were different grinders even.
I don't know enough about it probably.
I know. So good though.
It's pretty awesome. So I think we still have some stuff left. We'll probably get ready to have the Pistol Whip dev call in. And we may afterwards, maybe we'll touch on a couple other things we didn't touch on yet. And we do have some mugshots. We actually have some mugshots, and do you want to roll that now?
Sure, you can roll.
Let's go ahead and roll the mugshot. So if you don't know about mugshots, this is on our Discord. If you join our Discord, there's a mugshot section thanks to T-Dub that came up with that name. Where basically people just share their coffee cups, their coffee mugs, their VR stuff, whatever. So it's pretty cool. So when we get enough of them, we usually do a little segment on here where we put those out there and show them off. So feel free to drop those in there. Space Cadet, he recently picked up that Windows
WMR headset.
He's really liking it, so that's awesome.
That's awesome.
I believe that is his first headset.
It is, yeah, and he's actually thinking about picking up a Quest too.
Was it
a Quest? No, Rift S.
I think it was the Rift S when we posted the 350 Black Friday thing on our Discord. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, because $350. I mean, you can't touch a good headset for that. You know, even the WMR headsets are $299 basically if you buy them new. I
think there was one on sale recently that was like $150. They do have some crazy sales on them sometimes you can watch, and I don't know. I'm still interested to see what else we get with Black Friday. We will definitely keep an eye on all the Black Friday VR related stuff. So this is Tyler's picture here, and when he first sent it to me, I had to take a double look because I was like, why are you filling a camera lens with coffee? That's kind of weird. But
I was setting up this morning and stuff, so I was getting the cameras and stuff ready.
So was that the full glass you drank this morning? So was that people were asking how much coffee you had today? Did you already drink a full one?
That was one of them. Yeah. That was definitely one of them. Yeah. Yep.
It's pretty awesome. So
honestly, I should have got that the coffee in a box. If I'd have had
people were blown away by coffee in a box when we did that on an episode a couple weeks ago where we were together at your house. Not a lot of people have seen the coffee in a box. I guess
I thought everybody knew about coffee in a box. I really did.
Maybe it's just a East Coast USA thing. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Weird, but man. Do we have him in? Let me see here.
We do. I think he is calling right now. I think.
Let's see here. All right. Are you here?
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how are we doing, Anthony?
Good. Yourself?
Oh, not too bad. We're just barely awake this morning. How about you? I know it's a little earlier for you where you're at.
You're on the West Coast.
Yeah, about the same.
Probably just rolled out of bed. So.
Yeah, about half an hour ago. We're
good. Let us know in chat, too. Make sure. Hopefully the audio levels are coming through okay. So we don't have video feed for him today. It's just going to be an audio call that he's calling in. And we do have a picture of him here with his Index headset on. So that gives you an idea of who's talking on the other end. But if you want to just give us a little bit of info about who you are and what you do for Cloudhead Games.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Antony, and I guess I was the lead mapper on Pistol Whip. Normally I do like social media and community relations, things like that, some marketing. Our previous projects, like I don't know if you're familiar with Aperture Hand Lab, which we worked on before Pistol Whip. I was designer on that as well.
Awesome.
I'll be probably writing on our next project, and yeah, I was the lead mapper and a designer on Pistol Whip as well.
Awesome. Can you elaborate on the next project yet?
Not yet.
I didn't figure, but I figured it was worth it. Yeah, I figured it was worth a shot. So yeah, Aperture Hand Labs was great too. That was one of the first things I did on the Index, and it was excellent. That was an excellent intro to those controllers for sure. So, and
I'm going to go back even farther. Actually, did you get to work on the gallery as well?
I worked I worked on the gallery as mainly as QA. I was mostly doing social media community at that time, but I did jump into QA. That's how I kind of got started into design with Cloudhead. Mainly QA. I did help write a little bit, and I did help some design a little bit. But yeah, I was there for the gallery as well. I've been with Cloudhead for about 3 or 4 years.
For me, that was one of the first, I think, polished games that I actually got to go into. I think it was on the CV1 at the time.
Oh yeah.
And it just visually, everything worked, everything looked great. Wasn't super demanding, PC sided. Yeah, that was that even goes back. I mean, how long ago now was that? Three years probably.
2016.
Yeah, sure. Man, yeah, it's crazy how time flies, I guess. But
yeah.
But yeah, I think everybody, at least, well, not everybody, but anybody who probably has Knuckles or an Index has played the Aperture Hand Lab as well too.
Yeah,
so
I would think so. Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah.
So how excited are you for November 7th?
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Like, we've been in VR for a long time, and we've had popular games. Like, the gallery was well received when it came out.
Yep.
We have not experienced anything like the hype we've got for Pistol Whip right now. You guys are ramping us up so hard. Like, we're excited for our own game, which is a really good thing to say.
Definitely.
Yeah, when November 7th comes, I really hope you guys hop into the game and give it a try, because I think
for sure.
I think you have to play it to kind of really get it. Like, we've got all these different videos showing different play styles, but once you actually get in there and you realize how open the gameplay is and how free you are to kind of play it how you want to play, yeah, I think it's going to sell everybody. So
yeah, I mean, I think the mixed reality footage does kind of help give you an aspect of the game, but it's still, with VR, you just, I mean, until you get in there and experience it, it's just, you can't explain VR. You can't explain it in video, pictures, talking about it, anything. So I know this is one of the games, we have so many big games coming in 2019, but this is definitely one of the ones I think that so many people are excited about, as well as us. I mean, this is, and my wife as well. My wife recently got into VR on the Quest. She plays a lot of box VR and Beat Saber and stuff, and she's really excited for this as well because of the workout aspect. And this is, as you can see in the video footage and stuff, it's definitely going to be a workout.
Oh, I know. I'm really excited to see first person too, the block destruction of the characters. How all that works and looks visually and everything, the contrast of it.
Face.
Yep. Oh, looks so good.
Yeah. So what was your original inspiration for this game? A lot of people talk about a mix between Beat Saber and Super Hot and stuff like that. Did that play a role in the idea for this game?
The original inspiration was the club scene in John Wick, where it's like tap, 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 tap on the music, and he'd like, it's this just choreographed moment that's perfectly in sync with, like, Baby Driver kind of thing, but it's John Wick, right? And it's like to the beat shooting, and that was the pure inspiration for the tone, for the style of gameplay. We wanted people to feel like that moment. We wanted people to feel cool when they're playing it. Yeah.
Did the art style come from a little bit of it as well? Because I know there's not, a whole lot of color, nor do I think there needs to be. But I know even like in John Wick, it was pretty simple colors too. So did it come from there, or did you guys kind of just do your own thing with that?
Yeah, it was kind of our own thing with that. We wanted, things like high contrast and stuff like that. We wanted a really colorful and vivid world, and it was just kind of a knock on of the art style that we went with, right? Because we went with this kind of, lower poly look in order to make it multi-platform in a way that didn't affect anything. This is basically how the game looks on Quest, pretty much, right?
Yeah.
And in order to do that, we had to go with this kind of look, and then the colors really fit the look. So,
yeah, even the shading, everything. As I'm just watching this video, and I know you can probably see it too. I just keep watching it, and everything intrigues me about it. The one thing that I keep questioning is there going to be an option for two-handed, like dual wielding guns, or are you guys just sticking with the one, keep it mainstream, always the same?
No, so we've got actually a suite of modifiers, just like you'd see in something like Beat Saber. We have a suite of modifiers to kind of change out the game. One of them is absolutely dual wield. Another kind of core mechanic for the game is the auto aim that we've got. We put in the auto aim because we wanted it to be super accessible to non-gamers and new gamers and all that kind of stuff, right? Because part of the feeling of John Wick is like he lands every single shot. He does not miss, right? And that feels badass. And so we wanted the auto aim to kind of give you that same feeling. But you can turn it off. Right, and it's another one of our modifiers, and we've got a few options like that kind of twist the gameplay a little bit, add a little bit more depth, let you play in your own way, in your own style, and your own feeling, that kind of thing.
And I hear that adds to the difficulty quite a bit, right? Like it takes a lot more practice with that auto aim off to get good at the game. Is that right?
Yeah, I had played, a couple hundred hours, and then I threw on Deadeye for the first time, and I was like, oh no, I don't know how to play this game anymore.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah,
It would be
Deadeye,
like a new
Deadeye,
game.
it's exactly like a new game. It basically ramps everything in the game up to 11, and then gives you a hell of a workout. It's
Oh,
probably my favorite way to play the game, but I would totally recommend starting without it on because it's lots
sure.
of fun to like land every shot.
Yeah, and then once you master that, then you can step up and then go a whole nother game basically, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. There's lots of hidden depth in the game. It's a pretty simple loop in terms of like you're jumping into these levels and you're shooting some guys. But yeah, I think everyone's gonna be kind of surprised by the amount of depth here between the modifiers and the difficulty levels and the gameplay.
So do you have any type of achievements or anything built into it?
I think we're not going to launch with achievements, but we're going to come with achievements pretty short after launch.
Nice.
And we're going to have some unlocks as well. We've got kind of base gun customization at launch, and then we're going to have additional unlocks based on achievements after launch, I believe.
So I know you guys it's basically on rails. Did you guys ever mess with, dividing that rail, like coming to a point where you could go one way or the other, or is it just constant one direction?
So yeah, we did. Some of the early prototypes didn't have any movement at all. You were in a scene, you had a little standoff in that scene, and then you'd go to another scene. And then we introduced the locomotion in between those standoff moments. And then that's when we realized that was the kind of the core hook for the game. But it's totally something we want to think about. We've got so many ideas for this game just because of how, again, tons of hidden depth that we can kind of extrapolate on and turn into new modes and new gameplay ideas. And we've got tons of stuff that we want to bring to this game in the future.
That's awesome.
So cool.
I know Tyler was asking about the two-handed weapons and stuff, and I know I saw some people asking online and stuff about any kind of like ideas for SMGs or rifles and stuff like that. Is there anything because I know that'll really change the gameplay and stuff, but is that something you guys have messed with or think about messing with at all?
It's absolutely another thing that we've been thinking about, and another thing we'd love to do in post-launch support. Like even starting with just new types of pistols that have different firing rates or different ammo counts, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
That would completely change things up as well. And then as soon as you start introducing SMGs and different types of rifles, then that just unlocks some stuff.
Yeah, I feel like there's so many things like that you can add to the game that'll completely change the gameplay. Like, I mean, if you guys update, do a lot of updates after the game, if you guys have a lot of plans, I mean, this could be an ever evolving game that really you could feel like you're playing a new game every time you go in.
Yeah, we want this to be a live service, and we want to be able to support the game in that way and drop those new modes and that kind of stuff. So
awesome.
Yeah. And I think even like Beat Saber is doing a really good job of that route too, is adding new stuff, adding, song packs and stuff like that. I think, if you guys could add, big things to add to the game, I mean, even as DLCs, I think it's a great way to do it.
Yeah, if we had the longevity of Beat Saber, that's the intention, right? We want a big long-term game. So
sure it is. Yeah.
So do you have any plans for custom maps, like to allow any kind of custom beat maps or anything like that?
So we can't talk about our plans there quite yet.
Okay.
This is a really complicated subject for this game because rather than being a traditional void like in traditional rhythm games, then there's these actual complex levels, right? And so custom mapping these kind of complex levels is a little bit different than you would traditionally get in mapping. But we have some kind of ideas on how we can get custom tracks into the game or custom support into the game or whatever, all that stuff. We just want to talk about it after launch. We want to give kind of fairness to our license.
Sure. Yeah, the original look and everything too.
Yeah. So do you guys have any plans for down the road of like big name music people that you're going to try to get into this game? Kind of like how Beat Saber has started doing with, Imagine Dragons and that kind of stuff. Do you guys have any plan? I don't know if you can talk about that yet either, but.
Yeah, so we've already got some more music lined up. And then after that, we really want to, because there's been so many talks about like getting rock into rhythm games or getting these new music genres into rhythm games, and we really kind of want to think about it for a second and decide the kind of route that we want to go with the genres and the feel there. We've got a couple different ideas, nothing super locked down yet, but yeah, we want to kind of change it up a little bit with each pack or each release or however we handle the additional content.
Man, yeah, there would be a lot of things you could do or touch on that nobody's doing. I mean, even even a westernish look to a country song would be something totally out of the box that nobody would even think.
What's that
but
new
just
song
drop
with
like a beat to it? Oh man,
what is that song with Miley Cyrus's dad or
Old Time Road?
Yeah, like something like that. That would I could honestly see that in this. Yeah, that would be really cool.
That would be awesome. I've never seen something like that.
Yeah. So let's get to a couple questions in chat here. Roger D. King said, "Do you have to wear a black suit to play Pistol Whip, or can I wear just a white shirt, tie suit top, and a Hawaiian shorts?"
No, we actually took it to Congress, and it's now a law.
Right? Yeah, you have to proof of you have a suit before you can purchase this game.
There's cameras, involved with every headset, pretty much, so they're gonna know if you're not wearing a suit when you play this game. I don't recommend it. So, oh man, let's see here. So
on the reload mechanisms on this, is there any, or is it just a touch to the hip?
Yeah, so the reload, we were really inspired by arcade light gun shooters. And we wanted it to be dead simple because, again, first-time players, new people to VR, we want to get everybody as possible in, right? And so all it is you just point straight down to the ground. So it's kind of like pointing off screen for a light gun game, and that's all it takes. You can set it to point up or point down or whatever, but yeah, it's just pointing off screen, basically.
I think it's great. It keeps you going. It keeps you moving and focused on what you're doing and not just reloading.
I mean, this game is, I'm sure, going to make you feel like a superhero. So, I mean, superheroes either don't reload or they reload in like 0.2 seconds. So it's almost in this game, you don't even need that. But, and Jarillo asked, what's the benefit of playing on a better headset over the Quest? So is there any benefits of playing on PC VR compared to Quest?
I mean, you're going to get the higher refresh rate, and you're going to get the better visual quality. It looks pretty much the same, but I think shadows are off on mobile. So, like, you're going to get a small difference there in terms of the look and the feel. What else? I mean, you're going to get to be able to use Live if you use one of the PC headsets through Steam. But, I mean, really, we built this game. We knew we wanted to build a game that was great for Quest. And I would argue that Quest is maybe the best place to play this game. I took it on the boat the other day. I live on an island, and so there's a ferry between the next city, and so I took it on the ferry, and there's just this crowd of people that like came around me and made a little group, and were like, "Oh, what are you playing? What are you doing?" Because I'm like, I'm holding my pistol or my controller like a gun and moving around. So.
Well, if you watch some of the videos from like OC6 and stuff of the clips of just recording somebody playing it, where you're not actually seeing what they're playing, I mean, it would definitely get some attention because the movements and the quick stuff you're doing, it's definitely would grab attention, I'm sure.
Yeah, so I love the game on Quest, and it's got cross-buy with Oculus. Oculus
that's awesome.
Rift. So if you got an Oculus platform, you're pretty set.
So you will be able to experience both. That's going to be awesome. But I feel like the Quest will really shine just not having any wires. You're able to move all around and not worry about getting tripped up or anything. Have you tried playing this with any kind of haptic feedback vest or anything like that?
No, we don't have a vest at the moment, but I know a couple of the YouTubers have played it with vests. They might have a better idea. I imagine it would be sweet. We don't have native support for it at the time, but it's something we could get in at some point.
Yeah, so I actually just recently got one of the sub packs, and that is one thing I'm really looking forward to playing with this game because I feel like that's going to just add to it quite a bit. I mean,
I know the audio alone would do it.
Yeah, it's pretty funny looking at the sound waves for the music files in game, and you just see it's just maxed out the entire time. Like this is a loud pump in game.
Oh, it's gonna be so awesome.
That is. That's great because some of the headsets need it to be able to be turned up as well. Like if you have a Quest without any headphones,
or a Rift S, even worse.
Yeah, Rift S. Yeah, a lot of them. You really do need to be able to crank it up. So that's good. You're outputting those files loud too.
Yeah, for sure. Let me see here. So
I have a question, actually, before you get going, Sean. I'm going to forget it now. Oh, my question was, we get a lot of people that ask us all the time, too, that like to either play something seated or have to be because of wheelchair or something else. And have you guys, I'm sure you've tested it, just developing it. Does it play just as well seated? Because you can probably just lean, correct?
Yeah, I've found that I can't quite lean enough seated.
Okay.
It's a little tricky, especially there's some ducking obstacles. However, we have been thinking about this, and we talked before about an option that might do like a score reduction that could just get rid of the obstacles, and then you would basically be perfect playing seated because you wouldn't need to do the larger dodging movements. So.
Awesome.
Yeah, it amazes me sometimes how many people ask us for seated recommendations for VR games. It's kind of crazy, but yeah, I mean, I get it. Some people don't like to be super active, want to play VR, but don't want to be, and they want to sit on their couch, you know?
I mean, that was the roots of VR too, right? Like we've been in VR for a while, and that's kind of how this whole thing started. Was
gamepad and yep. So on that topic a little bit, what about anything with motion sickness? Like for people that do suffer from motion sickness, have you guys tested anything with those people that, help them with any kind of field of view limiter or anything like that? Have you guys played with any stuff like that?
Great question. So our studio has been thinking about motion sickness for a long, long time. When we started in VR in like 2013 or whatever, like DK1 type days, then this was a serious thing, and everyone was worried that motion sickness was going to prevent the mainstream adoption of VR. And so our studio was actually one of the first studios to introduce snap turning or comfort turns. We were also one of the first to do teleportation in the gallery. We were one of the last to kind of adopt smooth locomotion, just because we wanted to make sure VR was accessible and mainstream. With this game, obviously, there's a lot of movement going on here. So what's up with that? And we think we found a sweet spot. There's a couple things going on here. One is that there's constant momentum. There's no acceleration or deceleration, which is usually what causes motion sickness. Second is that these environments are designed in a really smart way to look at these kind of tight corridors. You've always got something stable in your peripheral, right? There's not a bunch of different textures that are kind of giving you an overload of information on the sides. And so it's the same thing as like staring at a point when you're in the car to prevent car sickness,
tunnel
right?
vision. Yeah.
Right. So you get these tight quarters, you get these stable periphery points, and that actually reduces motion sickness as well. So with testers, and we've had a couple hundred now, a few hundred even, and no reports of motion sickness.
Awesome.
That's good.
Yeah.
It looks like as well that, do you have a platform that it looks like you're standing on or moving on?
No, there's no platform. There is these like little floor rings that show you your
That's
center.
what I was thinking.
Yeah. But it's
sometimes it
not
gives
part
people
of the
reference. Gotcha.
Yeah, there's that too. Yep.
So that's awesome news with the motion sickness. Really, with the date of November 7th and this getting released and holiday season coming up, I mean, there's a lot of people that could be picking up a Quest, and this might be their first game they ever play. You know, I mean, this could be the first thing they ever experience. So
or picking it up for this game too, which we're seeing now.
Yeah,
we hope so.
I think that'll definitely happen.
So
could even do like a Christmas song.
A little bit off topic. Yeah, Christmas song. We played a Christmas song a little bit ago. A little bit off topic though, but we talked about the fact that Beat Saber is potentially launching something on November 7th too, which we think is probably going to be their 360 tracking stuff. And I know from Twitter and stuff that you guys kind of joke back and forth with Beat Saber. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's cheeky. I think they're seeing the hype, you know, and I think they're reacting to that a little bit, which is great. It makes us feel good. We're still a pretty small studio though, so
for now,
you know,
until November 7th.
Yeah, exactly. That's awesome. How many guys do you have in studio?
I think we just got up to 13.
Nice.
But for the duration of this project, we were, I think, 12 people.
Sure. Yep.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. So you guys typically work on just one game at a time then at this point?
Typically, yes. There's been a couple times like where like you start like thinking about the project or pre-production around the same time. But typically it's just the kind of one project at a time. Obviously Pistol Whip's going to be a live service, so we'll be kind of simultaneous development with
some people to that maybe. Or, I get that.
So in these maps, are these all handmade maps, or is there any like stuff that's procedurally generated throughout the map?
Yeah, so it's a bit of both. Basically, it's kind of hard to explain. Okay. There's a ton of procedural generation in terms of creating the walls and the floors and things like that. And then designers will hand place the obstacles and the enemies, and then procedural generation will carve out bullet paths through walls for the enemies. And what else? Designers will also place objects procedurally, so they'll choose like kind of the suite of objects that they want placed, and then they'll get placed procedurally. Yeah, it's a bit of both. Lots of hand placed stuff and lots of procedural generation going on in order to make these levels.
Awesome.
So to the end of the levels, does it play till the end of the song, or is it basically forever on a rail? Can you play this endlessly?
And another good one. That's another kind of idea that we've got kind of brewing for a future update. But for now, it's the level will end at the end of the song.
Yep, that's awesome.
So as far as any kind of multiplayer stuff like that, I know you guys will have a leaderboard. Is there any other kind of plans for anything around that sort of?
We have ideas. That's all I can say for now.
I think we're going to have you back on at some point when we can talk some more about this stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. So I can't wait to see all the stuff you guys have planned. I'm sure there is so much good stuff that you haven't even shown us yet or can't talk about yet. I honestly can't wait. So that is really cool. If we could get to a couple more questions in chat. I know some people have been. Yeah, it's hard to keep up with everything on there.
I just keep watching the clip that's rolling up here.
I know.
And it's like, I just want to see this thing. Like, we're so close to having it now in our hands. Yep. And I think everybody feels that way. And I mean, I don't know a guy probably that's not going to pick this up that doesn't like a shooter or a rhythm game or
workout game or
oh man, workout. So that's true.
I mean, I literally watched
so many different ways to play.
Yeah, I literally watched John Wick 3 a couple weeks ago, and this was all I could think about the whole time I watched the movie. I was just thinking about how I want to be able to act all of this out in VR. You know, it's just it's crazy. So,
do you actually get? I was gonna say, do you fail a level if you do hit something, or is it just like points off, or you just keep going?
Yeah, no, you can fill a level. You get one hit, you lose your armor, and then if you don't recharge your armor before you get hit again, then you will lose the level.
Oh, nice. Very cool. That's awesome. Man, it does. It just looks the colors too. Bullets, all
and
this
is actually this is actually old, outdated footage too.
Yeah,
so there's actually
old footage.
The colors are even better these days.
Man,
that was awesome.
That was like so what about like slowing down? Is there any chance to slow down time in its current state, or not yet, or not at all?
So we looked into that near the beginning. We were thinking about like bullet slowdown and stuff when it gets near you, like Space Power Trainer kind of thing.
Sure.
But
does it change the nauseous aspect of it, maybe?
It changes that, yes, because you're accelerating, decelerating.
Right.
But it also kind of messed up the music and the flow, and then it was more difficult to regain beat after that. Right. The whole game is beat focused. We've got all the guys spawning on beats, that kind of stuff. But as soon as you kind of introduce slowdown, then that complicated things way more than it was worth.
You have to slow the music down as well, and
Right. So Shiny Robot says Ninja Stars, baby. So that might be something good for in there. Zypher Orion said prediction VR Game of the Year. So
right, I know. I would actually love to see your guys' idea board in studio.
Man, I can't imagine. Yeah.
The stuff that gets thrown around, probably like, let's try this today, or let's see what this does. It's so much fun.
Definitely.
Oh man.
So I think that's pretty much. I think we picked your brain quite a bit. I definitely do think that we would like to have you on some point, maybe after the game's been out for a little while, and some when you guys have some big plans on some updates and stuff. So keep us updated and all that. Maybe we can get you back on here.
Definitely, I could come back and talk roadmap when we have it, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
So good.
So we really appreciate it. We definitely appreciate you coming on and taking the time. We know you kind of had to get up a little bit early to make it here, but
and I do want to say congratulations on the release, on the hype, and everything you guys have done for the VR community. We do really appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and I hope to see you guys November 7th for sure.
We will be
absolutely.
In there. I might be sick and not make it to work. That's all I'm saying.
Right. Yeah.
But all right, thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, Antony. Appreciate it.
Have a good one.
Bye.
The hype is real. The hype is so
real.
It
is. It's so good. I mean, I could just sit there and watch those clips run over and over again.
I know. And I just can't imagine. I mean, the clips look so good, but getting in there, I want to get in there. That's just, that's
I know.
A whole nother
Well, you
level.
know what, just like in Beat Saber, what the music does to you, okay? So then add in all of this, and I know we get some dodging in Beat Saber, but this is, to me, it feels like mixing Beat Saber with, I can't think of it.
Super Hot.
Yeah, super hot to a T. Like
Yeah.
the simple colors,
And
the
throwing
gun
John Wick in
movement,
there.
the ducking, the all of it. Oh, it's
Yep.
so good.
It really does. I remember when Beat Saber first came out, and I downloaded it, and that was right before my wedding, actually. You were just getting ready to head down to Virginia, and I kind of told you about it. I was like, man, Beat Saber, like, this is something. Like, they really have something here. Yeah. And you were like, oh, really? You're like, I don't know. It looks okay. And then you played it, and you're like, wow, like, it really is. There's certain games in VR that just feel magical. There's something about them that you just can't do it in a flat game. It doesn't make sense. You know, you put it in VR and it's just, it is honestly, it's just magic is the only word that I can think of. And I think this is going to be another one of those games that it just does everything right for what current VR can do to really shine and really just make you feel out of body. And it's an out of body experience almost. It really is. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. So really looking forward to that.
And I'm really excited too that it is going to have that cross buy between Quest and the Rift too. That's awesome. If it worked through Revive, I would almost even say, even if you have, you know, a Vive or an Index, you could buy it through the Oculus store.
Yeah.
And then if you thought the day you were going to get a Quest maybe, or the possibility of getting it, you could play it on that as well. But I don't know, you know, I don't like mixing Revive in if I don't have to. But yeah, I would give you the option because, man, on Quest, this thing is going to be great.
Yeah, I will probably buy it on Steam and Oculus. I mean, to me, I'll probably just buy it on both because I'm going to get it on for the Rift and for the Quest, and then just buy it on Steam as well for the Index is what I'm
and figuring. For the Live aspect too.
Right, for Live, yeah, that's another thing too. So you do need the Steam version for that.
Yep,
so yeah. And I mean, it just looks so good. Definitely appreciate him coming on. That's so cool to get some information, be able to pick his brain a little bit.
I'm glad to hear more about the reloads too. I was curious on what was going on with the reloads because I saw them dipping their hands down all the time, but I've never had confirmation on that.
It's kind of like Arizona Sunshine in a sense. Arizona Sunshine, you would eject the mag and then you would pull it into your chest kind of to reload, kind of that kind of aspect. And once you get used to it, you know, you can do it so quick and you do it without even thinking about it. It just happens.
Oh man, yeah. And you're more focused on gameplay instead of reload mechanics, which becomes a lot more fun. Yeah, that's true. Oh, all of that, I can't wait.
Shiny Robot said, nice one, lads. Pistol Whip and Stormlands equals VR ecstasy. Very well put. Very well put.
I know. It's going to be bad. I'm glad I'm getting some time now. Stormlands, I know we are super excited for.
Yeah.
I keep watching all their hype videos coming out, and every time I see one, I'm like, what flat gamer would not want to play Stormlands?
I know. I mean, these games that are coming out, they have no excuse anymore. One of the big excuses used to be there's no VR games, there's nothing to play. And that's just not the case. And there's so many good games. You know, we're getting the Medal of Honor. We're getting Medal of Honor. You know, so for people, I mean, there's just so much stuff. There's so many good things. November is going to be an absolutely amazing month for VR. I hope some other months can stack up to what November is going to be. And real quick, the VR Mang talking about Pistol Whip said, experience is listed as comfortable too, which is great. Comfort level was one of my worries for the success of the game. And that's what I worried about too, because my wife suffers from motion sickness. She doesn't really like to do anything that she even thinks might give her motion sickness. And
same with mine. Yep.
Yeah. So, and she said something about motion sickness in here. So the aspect that she should be able to pick this up and play it and not have any issues. And I think it'll probably be a little bit easier on her now because she's been playing VR for a while, you know, not smooth locomotion and stuff, but been playing Beat Saber and Box VR and stuff like that. So hopefully that won't be an issue.
You got to get your legs. Everybody does.
Your VR legs. That's a big thing. So yeah, I mean, the hype is real. It really is. This is a big title for 2019. I keep wanting to say 2017 because it's November 7th. I keep wanting to throw that 7 in there. I don't know why.
Numbers,
but yeah,
I hate that.
This is a big one for 2019 for sure.
That's right. Better than me telling everybody that the Rift S is 50% off.
Yeah.
But honestly, like if you're a flat gamer and you're debating picking up a headset, if you have a decent PC, pick up a Rift S on Black Friday. Do yourself a favor. Yeah. This game will run probably on any PC. If you know it's going to run on Quest,
as long as
it'll
it's
run
minimum
on
spec. Yeah, minimum spec. It's probably gonna run. Pretty
I agree,
well.
But
I'm sure it's optimized well, and or pick up a Quest. I mean, and we may still see a Black Friday sale for Quest. I highly doubt it, kind of because of the sales numbers for those things. But it would be cool if we did.
It's hard for me though to recommend to somebody who's like a serious hardcore flat gamer to get a Quest because it limits you from like those AAA style games that run on PC.
Not this month.
I know. I know. I get it.
I mean, you got Link. I mean, it's still a great headset to pick up. It's hard.
Yeah, but
it's hard to not recommend.
You're still not going to run at optimal performance that you would.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, it's you're still going to have latency. You're still going to have, it's not going to push out the same resolution and stuff. So it's, it's not going to be as good. Don't get me wrong. It's still great. And but then you have to buy another $80 cable and it's $350, If you've got a min spec PC, pick the thing up. Like,
hopefully Best Buy and Amazon and stuff are going to have that same deal. I don't know if they will, but we'll definitely be watching the sale flyers. Another one that's coming another November launch, November 21st, is Star Wars, the next series of Star Wars, Episode 3. I mean, that's coming November 21st. So
they're busting these out.
Yeah, I mean, that's this is the third one since Quest launch, and between the second and the third one wasn't that much time. The second one didn't come out that long ago, so I don't know, it's pretty quick. But that is going to launch on Rift and Quest, so
I'm sure they're trying to have them out for holidays and stuff. It just gets, even just Star Wars fans are going to want to buy
some
Quest
people might buy it just because of Star Wars. I mean, it's definitely
I know a guy who's a big Star Wars buff, collects stuff, and he's like, I want to get a Quest now, and I'm like, there you go. That's all it takes is to draw people in.
Pretty much.
Stormland, though, man. Oh, I can't wait.
Stormland, Pistol Whip. Those are for me.
I know.
I don't know. I mean, there's so many. Like, when I think about it, there's ones that I can't even remember that are coming out this year until I see something about it. There's just so many. You can't keep up. But definitely, if you haven't joined our Discord, be sure to join our Discord. We are going to try to play some games tonight and get into some stuff. And I wish we had something that we could get a lot more people in. I think most things are limited to. Rec Room might have the most. I can't remember how many people in Poker Stars.
Poker Stars host about 8 in a room, but we can host multiples. Sean and I can split up. We'll host multiples. So come on over. Join our Discord.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. We'll play some stuff. And maybe some PC stuff tonight, some contractors and stuff like that. Maybe we'll hop into some of that. So,
but that's the nice thing. Like with Rec Room and Poker Stars, it doesn't matter what you have.
Right.
You can play it on.
Hopefully, Contractors too soon. I mean, I don't know for sure about crossplay, but we were playing Contractors on the Quest, and if we can get crossplay, because that's the only really downside of Contractors, in our opinion, is the player base. It's just not as high as Onward and Pavlov and stuff like that. So that'll definitely help increase the player base.
Oh, it definitely will. Yep.
Man, Pistol Whip. It's all about.
I know, right? It's so good. I feel like we found out so much from him that wasn't even announced or that it wasn't talked about.
They have done some other interviews that I haven't watched. Some of the other interviews, so I don't know. I mean, there is a decent amount of information, and some people do have their hands on the game. Some people have got to play it, which I'm super jealous of. Some people did some cool videos, Nathy and Virtual Reality Oasis and stuff. A lot of people have done some really cool mixed reality videos with the Live, and that game of Beat Saber, like that. Live just shows off, the potential that mixed reality footage. It really does help.
And I think that's the only way to translate the flat gaming. I really do.
Even still, I don't think it does it justice, but it helps.
Oh no!
Until you get a flat gamer in that VR game and they feel that magic, you're not going to convince them. I mean, it's really you can't watch a video and turn them into a VR believer. You got to get them in there. So I'm actually today, I have a little work party with some people to go to after the show, and I am planning on taking my Quest. So I'm actually thinking about taking the Views XR camera as well and getting some 180 footage. I'm going to try to put some people in some Richie's playing experience. We're going to get a 2x6. I don't know what else for sure. I was hoping that we could get somehow access to Pistol Whip. I wanted to get people to try that. I think that's really going to be a big one to show people. I don't know what else I'm going to show them yet. For sure, Richie's Plank experience, because I know they're going to freak out, and it's going to be hilarious.
Beat Saber. Let them try Beat Saber.
Yeah, Beat Saber.
Yep.
So, and some of them have played some stuff. Some of them were over at the house for the wedding, and they were over, and we were playing VR all night the night before, and the one guy, my buddy Charlie, about broke my TV stand playing Super Hot. I could not keep him in an area. He was just amazing. This was back when my VR was in the living room.
He was crawling on the ground.
He was everywhere. He was all over the place.
My gosh.
So I'm gonna, if you guys are interested in seeing some footage of that in 180, I might try to take that camera and just set it up and get some 180 footage, because it's probably gonna be pretty funny. Maybe mess with that a little bit. But yeah, so that's the plans for today.
So good.
Hopefully we will.
Thank you for the super chat today. We really do appreciate it.
That.
Yep.
If you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe and hit that like button for us. Helps us out, and we love having you here for the shows. It means a lot to us.
Absolutely, we do.
So, and this time we can leave, and you can say, "We'll see you next time," or "We'll see you in VR." And we are going to see some people in VR
That's
tonight.
True. We will actually see people in VR. So
no doubt.
Stay tuned on our Discord. We'll drop the links. Continue the conversation of what we're playing. And
huge thanks to Antony.
Today, guys.
Huge thanks to him for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And we will see you guys tonight. Later, guys.